Purdue Pharmaceuticals, recently found liable for the opioid epidemic, has filed for bankruptcy. It's reached an agreement for a settlement with 22 different state attorney generals regarding its malfeasance and the lawsuits. Now, some attorney generals are saying it's not enough.
It should not be about billionaires looking to use the bankruptcy process as a vehicle to further shield their assets and escape accountability. This proposed deal isn't worth nearly what they say it is. It doesn't require the Sacklers to pay back a dime of the billions of dollars they sucked out of Purdue through the sales of Oxy over the last many years.
Now, the opioid epidemic has claimed roughly 400,000 lives, so paying a big fine does seem a bit lenient, right? Well, you'll notice that none of these prosecutors are talking about jailing big pharma execs. And they can't. It's a civil suit, not a criminal case. But that raises the question. When a big corporation makes reckless decisions in pursuit of its own profits.
If they sold more OxyContin, they made more money, basically.
Yes. The same as almost every other company in the industry.
And their actions result in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. Shouldn't they face some kind of very severe or real penalty?
The attorneys general of the various states where the opioid epidemic has played out should be looking very seriously at the conduct of individuals and considering criminal prosecution if those individuals, if the elements of the crimes that they've committed are clear. If the criminal law was brought to bear on those responsible, that this type of conduct would be unlikely to be repeated.
Well, the U.S. legal system doesn't seem to work that way. Back in the early 2000s, engineers at General Motors put an ignition switch in a very dangerous spot where drivers could inadvertently turn it off by accident. It was very dangerous, and as a result, 124 people died. Furthermore, the company actively tried to cover this up, even worked to derail a recall. So what happened? Well, the CEO got grilled by the U.S. Senate.
My sincere apologies to everyone who has been affected by this recall. I am deeply sorry.
But did anyone go to jail? No. GM got fined $900 million and had its production closely monitored by the government for 3 years. But did anyone go to jail for actions that resulted in taking over 100 innocent lives? No.
There are principals in corporations, not only in this country, but around the world, who escape criminal liability because of the power and the money they command. If some of the people at the top of these companies who contributed to the prescription opioid epidemic in the United States knew that they were likely to be criminally prosecuted if they were identified, they would think twice or 3 times or not engage in that behavior.
But for average Americans who kill people or commit violent crimes, the penalties are not so soft. The United States has the biggest prison population of any country in the world. It's also the only Western country to still practice the death penalty. And sentences of life in prison without the possibility of parole are handed out in the United States all the time.
Jurors heard 2 days of testimony about Goldsby's difficult childhood. Goldsby himself asked the jury for mercy. But 8 jurors still favored the death penalty.
My opinion, based on what you did, you do not deserve to ever see the light of day.
So the rule of American justice seems to be, kill one person in a fit of rage, you are going to jail, maybe even for life. But kill hundreds or maybe even thousands of people in pursuit of bigger profits for your shareholders, well, just pay a fine and don't lose too much sleep over it. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.